again, everyone in podcast land and out there on the internet. Welcome to season 3 of the Adam Jones podcast presented by the Baltimore Banner. I'm Jerry Coleman. He's the 5-time MLB All-Star. His name is Adam Jones. Today, we have reached episode number 79. We'll be joined by future Hall of Famer and current Orioles closer Craig Kimbrel. Adam and I will also catch up with the Baltimore Banner Orioles beat reporter Danielle Allentuck during our For the Birds segment, sponsored by the Maryland Lottery, and during Baltimore and Beyond, which is brought to you, as always, by Relief. Then, as always, we'll give you a chance to win a $50 gift card, compliments of Lido Pizza during Socially Speaking. But let's introduce our featured guest, sponsored by Jimmy's Famous Seafood. It is Craig Kimbrel. Craig, we appreciate you being here on the podcast as we speak. 4th all-time on the saves list. The life of a veteran major league closer. I watch all your interviews, Craig. And one thing I notice, your confidence never wavers. Win or lose, it just never wavers. And you can't say that about every closer.
Well, I appreciate that. And I wish I could. I'm glad it comes off that way. I think that's part of the job is presenting yourself that way. But I mean, just like any job or any position, there are times where, the highs are highs and the lows are lows, but you always got to remember to stay on plane and, focus at the job in hand. And I think too, at the point I am in my career, keeping that mentality, I know I got a lot of guys around me watching, so it's good to teach that, to let guys understand that it's about the grind. It's not about the highest feeling you can get. And if I can keep on doing that, I think things are good.
Craig, obviously great to have you. Great competing against you. Great to see you still doing it. I want to talk about how these young guys are keeping you young. You have a very young offense. You have a very young team, very young organization, especially on the pitching staff also. How are they picking your brain and how are they keeping you young?
Man, I mean, I think it's an everyday thing. I think it's just when you show up, you feel. I mean, you've been in a lot of clubhouses. There's clubhouses where you show up and everybody knows it's a job, and it's just like, let's get through the day, and I can't wait to get home. But when you have a young group, you have a lot of guys that are still like excited, still. They're still cutting their teeth in the game. They're still understanding it. They're still getting to know it. Seeing that and having so many guys on our team that are going through that at the same time, it does give some excitement. You get this personally. I get to look at times that I had quite a while ago. To the view, to the game, to the excitement to show up, try to win every single night. To get away from the monotony of 162, because this is a very long season, and just having those young guys around to never take a night off, and to be super excited just to get the ball or just to get the bat to go out there and a chance to compete every single night. I think that helps as a guy that's been around for a while and gone out there and do it every night. It helps me in those Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday games where sometimes there's not a lot of people in the seats. That helps get up and get ready to go out there, because just seeing the excitement and what they're getting up and going out there and playing every day with.
Yeah, looking at your numbers is proven. You've wanted the ball. You average almost 70 appearances a year. You want the ball. How has that translated to other guys who, again, we all balance soreness, injuries. The only day you feel good is the first day you walk into spring training. How have you been able to teach younger guys the proper way to recover, the proper way to do certain treatments, the proper way to, manage your off days or just manage your ways? Because again, the season's a very long season. Guys have had great Aprils, and the rest of the month they get gassed.
Yeah, I mean, I wish I could tell you the proper way. I think everyone's been trying to figure that out for a long time. But that's also the same thing that I talk to guys about. I mean, there's so many different ways to do things in this game. I mean, just not perform in this game, but there's different ways to recover. There's different ways to mentally prepare, and I think the biggest thing is just understanding what works best for you on each and every day basis, and what can get you prepared to play each and every night. Like you said, you're not gonna feel great every night you go out there, but what do I need to do to get close enough or where I can perform to help this team win tonight? Because there are times, and a lot of guys talk about it. I think teams are better with guys in their lineup sometimes at 80%, and then them on the bench trying to get to 100. And then just a trickle down effect to how the lineup is pitched to, how the bullpen is used. It's just an overall change sometimes when you take pieces in and out of a lineup. Because guess what? The guys on the other side don't always know who's 100% and who's not. And that's really big in this game.
All right, we've neared or reached the midway point of the season. Your impressions of going the path you have taken from one playoff team in Philly to another one in Baltimore, the similarities and the differences between last year's squad that you were with and this year's version.
Yeah, I mean, there really are. I mean, the cities aren't that far away. I think that both teams are played very well the last couple of years and put together some really good runs. I think the biggest difference, and like we were just talking a minute ago, is in Philadelphia. I mean, there are some guys who are coming up and who have a lot of talent, but it's a majority group of veteran guys and leaders there in Philadelphia. I think in Baltimore, you're kind of looking at a group of guys who are gonna be that team in the future, and we have a lot of guys who are gonna play this game for a long time. They're just at the start of their career. So I think we're both great teams. I think they're just they have more veterans, guys who've been around the league. But when it comes to a ball club, we both pitch well. We both hit the ball at timely manners, and yeah, I think it was a fun series we played earlier a couple weeks ago. So let's hope we get another matchup at the end of the year, and I think everybody be pretty happy.
It's a two-part question. Does the proximity of where you live, East Coast guy, does that help, make a decision in, where you sign? And also, you mentioned it, Phillies, Orioles, two, we call them blue-collar cities, two fan bases that are thriving to win. I think Philly is a little crazier, but being in the bullpen, you hear the nasty of the nasty. Who out there is nastier?
Ooh, man, that's a tough question.
Oh, come on. Is that a contest?
It's a tough question because it's one of those questions. I think there are some fan bases who would want me to say it's them. So
Yeah,
I'm just gonna say, in the bullpen I hear nothing. So it's I think that's the best answer I can give you there, because I don't know. I think you get used to it in the bullpen, especially in huge and big games. I mean, everyone's into it. Everyone wants to give you their peace of mind, or be the reason you went out there and couldn't throw strikes or hit a guy or something. So I mean, it's fun. It's part of the game. There's a lot of passion. I think at times, does get a little carried away. I think I've had a couple beer cans miss me here and there, but let's just say I'm glad they miss me.
I'm glad it was just a can and not a bottle, too. So I was watching the finale in Oakland, and I saw Cedric Mullins slam your latest save, the ball right into your glove. Is that now standard operating procedure after the Colton Hauser incident in Kansas City? And where is that waterlogged ball right now? I mean, are all these things getting authenticated as you go along, Craig?
Yeah, they have been. The Cowser incident was a fun one. He really felt really bad about it, and I assured him that it was a baseball. It was a nice moment. I told him that the fact that he did that made that moment just a little bit more special. I still have the ball. He went up there and fished it out. They didn't authenticate it, but I got it in a ball, and it's dirty because he tried about 1,000 different ways to dry it out, and so the ball's ruined, but I still have it. And when he robbed a home run for me in Chicago, I told him to keep that ball. So we have a good trade off. He's going to sign mine. I'm going to sign his, and it's a good moment. I think moving forward. I mean, obviously, I am gonna keep the balls moving forward, but after this pass save, passing Francisco Rodriguez, I kind of told the guys, I said, hey, we can kind of quit talking about each save every time I get one now. It's it's been my focus since day one. I showed up to Baltimore. It's the games that I pitch and the saves and opportunities that I get are about the team and what we're moving forward to the end of the year. And I mean, obviously there's been momentum. There's been milestones I've been able to achieve so far this year, and very glad to get there. But I think now that I've gotten to a point, it doesn't look like I'm going to have an opportunity to catch Lee Smith this year. So here moving forward, it's about the Orioles baseball. It's about winning. It's about getting to our final goal, which is the World Series at the end of the year. And it's been great. I enjoy people talking about how many saves I have, but at this point, I mean, unless I get 38 more saves the rest of the year, which would be amazing. We'll see. But it's been great. The love everyone's been showing me so far this year has been great. Bringing up the things that I've been able to do in my career has been amazing. But I think we've only talked a couple of times, but as y'all get to know me, it's about the team and about the goal that we have at the end of the year. And I have somewhat of a all right, let's get back on focus being on the team and less on the achievements that I've been able to accomplish.
I mean, I know as being a closer, you come in and you do your job. You want to come in and do your job, but you're top five and you're in fourth. You and Jansen are probably going to finish 3 and 4, move Smith back to 5. I need you to be self-centered for a minute. Like, how freaking awesome is that, though? Like, dude, you're talking about being one of the best closers this game for 150 plus years has ever had. You have to have inside with your family, over some. I got some good whiskey right here. Maybe over some of this with your friends over beer. Like, you just got to have that moment where you just be like, maybe it's when you retire. When I retired, I was like, well, damn, I was actually pretty good. When you're going through it, you're still grinding. But have you had that moment where you're just like, man, I've done it. I'm pretty damn good. I got your accolades right here. I mean, you've won everything. A reliever. You won a World Series, All-Stars. I mean, like, have you had that moment yet, or is it coming down the road?
I reckon it's coming. If I got a feeling, I feel like if that feeling was creeping in too much on me, if I woke up every day and I was like, man, I've done some cool stuff. I'm happy with this. I think that's about time. It's time for me to go home when I start having that feeling. I still have quite a bit of drive and want and things I want to accomplish in this game. I feel very blessed and honored, and yes, I know I worked hard to achieve some of those accolades and numbers. Also, a lot of guys that I played with and worked with to help me get there, and I understand that.
Of course.
Especially in the position as a pitcher, as a relief guy. I mean, there could be 3 to 5 pitches in a season that can completely dictate the difference of a season. Yeah. And so, I mean, I have those guys to thank too, but I still wake up, I still have, I want to go out there and win. I want to be put in those situations, in those moments. I think once I'm like, man, that's too much for me. I get too worn out going out there in those situations, and I start thinking about all the things I have done instead of the things I want to do. I think hopefully that time comes, but I'm not there yet.
I wanted to ask you about the constant covering of the mouths with the gloves. We see it all over Major League Baseball. Is the fear of lip reading real, or is it more paranoia? Because my thinking is, if someone picks up on something, Craig, is there enough time to make that adjustment?
Yeah, I mean, no. I think with all the cameras and things like that, it may. I think at times it may not be just for that moment either. I think if you can read someone's lips in a big situation and see what someone's saying, I think you can use that moving forward. But honestly, for me, if they could read my lips, I'd be pretty impressed. But I think I'd be more worried about ending up on one of the lip readings where you're saying, they make you say something that you're not actually saying. So I think that's why it's a better job to cover your mouth.
AI is
Just so
crazy.
they can't run with that.
Yeah, AI is crazy. So this is a answer just one of these. You get three questions, 3 parts, 3 answers. All-star snub, time to relax, or the 10th All-Star appearance, which puts you into a completely different stratosphere.
Oh gosh, what a question. First off, um, I want to say that for each and every guy that gets the opportunity to go to the All-Star game, congratulations to them. It's well deserved. I mean, they're not even in the conversation being there if they're not having a great year, and if they're not helping their team be in the position that they're in, and doing some right things. So congratulations to them. It's an amazing experience for not only them but their families to experience a venue like that the Major League Baseball puts on. It's very first class. So I hope they enjoy that. And congratulations to them. The question you just asked me, the 1, 2, and 3. I think all 3 of them people are talking about. The first one, I wouldn't say I'm any kind of a snub. I think there's guys out there each and every year who have tremendous first halves and have an opportunity and should have that opportunity to go play in the All-Star game. I mean, since the beginning of this game, there's probably been it's happened every single year. Can we talk about it a little bit more nowadays? Absolutely. Does everyone have a little bit more of opinion nowadays? Yes, they do. There's great things about that. Here we are talking about it. But at the same time, there's some things that aren't fair to the guys that are getting that opportunity. They should be enjoying and saying, hey, this is an honor, instead of hearing guys saying, hey, they shouldn't be there. I don't believe in that. I don't think that's right.
True.
So in that sense, I feel bad for them. There's those guys that are put in that position, for everyone to let everyone air out their laundry.
Right.
But that's why I wanted to say congratulations to them.
For sure. But
I
you
love
get to
talking.
relax.
Yeah.
Relax that arm. You get to spend time with the kids.
Yeah.
But also,
Hey,
as your kids get
my
older,
kids will enjoy having me for 4 days. I promise
I
you
know
that.
that. Yeah. But I'm saying as they get older, they get to experience these things differently. Your first All-Star game, maybe when you're first kid, it's a little different. You carrying the baby, got the nanny. Now your kids are walking on the field with your jersey. Now some of them might be out there shagging, depending on ages, like things like that. That's always something that I've always loved to see with kids and the family sharing. That's why I said the All-Star game is such a rewarding event, and you get to see everyone shares it: uncles, aunts, nephews, nieces. It's just not just the individual; it's a bigger accomplishment for everybody in the family.
Oh, absolutely it is.
Yeah.
And yeah, it definitely is.
I love talking with guys like you, Craig, who have these long baseball resumes, all the teams that you've pitched for. You must have a nice jersey collection, but also a lot of moving to different cities. Do you ever get used to that? I mean, ending up in a different city year after year, or do you like the changing of your addresses? Or
It's definitely part of the job. There are things that are nice about it, and there are things that are tough about it. But come on, it's life. This is a job opportunity that I've dreamed about since I was a kid, and here I am still doing it at 36 years old. I have a strong woman beside me who's been going through this with me, and when I'm packing up, she's packing up. We have 2 kids now, which has its own difficulties, but brings so many joys and smiles each and every day with having them here as well. But yeah, I mean, there are aspects that are tough. I mean, adjusting to a new organization, getting to know their ways, and have to do it pretty quick. Getting to know a city, making sure your family's comfortable, all those things that matter. That when you stick around in a city for a couple years or multiple years, you've got them covered. You've moved past those steps of finding comfort and making sure everyone's safe. But at the same time, you get to learn new places. I've learned so many new people, so many new organizations, so many new cities in just the last 5 years, that those are memories and opportunities that I don't know if I'd be doing any other job field.
I want to talk about the reinvention of yourself. You threw a changeup this year. You're starting to throw changeups. You were a fastball slider.
Or I think so, too.
You see? And when you came in the game, obviously you were the elite power pitcher. Now you see everybody's throwing 106 now. How have you learned how to, again, you're getting older, so it doesn't matter. The 98 ain't coming out for you like it used to. It's part of it getting older, guy. But how have you not say reinvented yourself, but just became crisper, better, and learned that, well, I can't miss over the heart of plate because 98 I can, 96 not as much. So have you learned to reinvent yourself, and then more breaking balls, and just learn how to evolve, basically?
I kind of revert back to what we were talking about earlier about taking care of yourself and figuring out, what is it you need to do to take care of yourself each and every day. You have to figure yourself out. And over the last, I guess since 2018, 19, when a lot of the video and analytics and numbers started coming into the game, I started to dive in just a little bit to try to understand what makes my fastball good and what makes it tough to hit. And it's been a process over the last so many years, understanding the systems and how they work and how the numbers work. I think everyone has, right? I think when the numbers came out, everyone was like, spin rate's it. And then now it was like the higher the spin rate, the better the pitch, right? And well, now we're like, well, not necessarily, right? Just because it's spinning doesn't mean it's a great pitch, based on the axis and the tilt and the horizontal angles and all these different things that we've learned as the years have gone and gone and gone. I've learned more about what makes my pitches successful, and that they're not only successful when they're 100. They're successful when they're 93 or 95 or 96, depending on the location and my release point and how those things work, and understanding it because of the data has actually helped me on the mound to say, okay, I can't attack with 100 right down the middle and then bounce a breaking ball because they think it's 100 down the middle anymore. Like that's not the game that I'm playing, even though I am pitching off of the same tunnels and the same lines. It's just at a different speed. So understanding those angles and numbers has helped me as I've gotten older and lost some velocity, which helps me get past the bats, understand how to miss the bats with less velocity.
Well, we've certainly established there's been a lot more success than failure in your major league career, and hopefully that continues. But I want to know, what is the feeling when the manager emerges from the dugout, you're in a save situation? What's going through your mind that you can't say, or you could say it on this podcast, but that has to be an unhappy.
Well, most of the time if the manager's coming out of the dugout and I'm on the mound, I'm not having a very good day. So it's, we'll keep some of those thoughts and feelings inside. But yeah, if Hyder's coming out there to take the ball or talk to me, it's usually not a good situation.
More coming up on the Adam Jones Podcast, but first, a word from our sponsors. The Adam Jones Podcast is brought to you by our friends at the Weinman Company. Everyone knows Greenmount Station in Hampstead, but did you know that at Greenmount Station you can bet 7 days a week just like you're at the track? With in-person teller windows and state-of-the-art touchscreen kiosks. And with Greenmount Station's brand new Bet Park Sportsbook, you can bet on all other sports as well, wherever you are in Maryland. Spreads, money lines, live bets, props, parlays, and teasers. The Bet Parks Maryland mobile app is now live for Apple and Android devices, so you'll never miss your next big score. Just search for Bet Parks MD in the Apple App Store or on Google Play. And for a limited time, 21 and over Adam Jones podcast listeners can get a $75 gift card to Greenmount Station simply for opening a new account with promo code GMS and a minimum $50 initial deposit. $75 gift card for new users in Maryland only. 21 and over only. Please play responsibly. For help, call 1-800-GAMBLER. The Adam Jones Podcast is brought to you by Jimmy's Famous Seafood, Charm City's favorite crab cake destination. Local sports fan? Experience the ultimate pregame party at the tailgate. Cheer on the Ravens with iconic live performances, an open bar, and mouth-watering eats. Can't make it? No worries. Bring the same food that caught the attention of the Food Network right to your doorstep. Shipping East Coast recipes nationwide. Jimmy's Famous Seafood is the official sponsor of the guests appearing on the Adam Jones Podcast.
Take me out to the ball game.
Take me out with the crowd.
Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks.
I don't care if I never get back.
Marylanders are adding a 7th-inning stretch to their day with fast play home run riches from the Maryland Lottery. You could win a progressive jackpot instantly and enter to win cash for Orioles home runs.
It's my new ball game.
Hey, it's savings season at Lido Pizza. 99-cent refreshing iced teas all summer, or $6 calzones every Tuesday. There are tons of new deals and rewards for everyone. Proud partner of the Baltimore Orioles, Baltimore Ravens, and the Adam Jones Podcast. Lido Pizza, a local legend since 1955. Exclusively at LidoPizza.com or on the Lido Pizza app. If you received ERC funds, listen closely. The IRS has 10 years to audit your claim, but you only have until March 22nd to get taxpayer relief, and the clock is ticking. If you're losing sleep over a possible audit, we'll review your claim. If you made a filing error, we'll set things right. If you're being audited, we'll provide expert representation. The IRS Voluntary Disclosure Program ends March 22nd. You deserve peace of mind. Visit SaveMyERC.com to schedule a consultation today. That's SaveMyERC.com. Effective Solutions, your one-stop shop for commercial contracting. Everything from excavation and site development to emergency remediation and restoration. Effective Solutions specializes in many forms of commercial and mixed-use construction. With a dedicated staff and a commitment to quality, Effective Solutions delivers every time. There are a lot of ways to make whiskey, but there's only one way to make Jack Daniels. At Jack Daniels, they charcoal mellow every drop, only using water from Cave Spring Hollow in Tennessee. When you make your own label, you make everything else yours too. But we don't need to tell you that, do we? Make it count. Jack Daniels. Please drink responsibly. Tennessee whiskey, 40% alcohol by volume. Jack Daniel Distillery, Lynchburg, Tennessee. Jack Daniels and Old No. 7 are registered trademarks 2022. Jack Daniels, all rights reserved. The Adam Jones Podcast welcomes Relief Shop. Shop Maryland's largest adult use and medical cannabis menu, located at 1114 Cathedral Street in Baltimore, with medical delivery available throughout Maryland 7 days a week, only at Relief Shop.
Your fun awaits at Hollywood Casino Perryville. Feed the whole crew with something for everyone, from cheesesteaks to crab cake sandwiches. Plus, ask how you can get a $15 dining credit. Get in on the gaming action with the hottest slots and your favorite table games like blackjack, roulette, and poker. Free live shows every Friday and Saturday. Come experience non-stop fun and excitement only at Hollywood Casino Perryville.
Hey Baltimore, Monument City Brewing has been crafting the best beer in Maryland since 2014. Located at 1 North Haven Street in Baltimore, you've seen us at the ballpark. Now drop by our tasting room. Open Thursday through Sunday with events, music, and great food trucks. And this year we are honored to collaborate with Adam Jones and the Adam Jones Podcast with Simply AJ Ballpark IPA, available throughout the baseball season. It's going to be a great year, Baltimore. Visit us online at monumentcitybrewing.com or follow us on Instagram at Monument City Brewing.
Hey, you work hard, I work hard, and we all like to save money. That's why we need the Royal Farms ROFO Rewards app to get more value for our hard-earned money. With the app, you earn royalty points on every purchase, can place mobile orders for quick pickup, plus a discount at the gas pump with ROFO Pay. We all like to save money, and with the ROFO Rewards app, we do.
Real fresh, real fast. Royal Farms.
Keeping Baltimore safe is an incredibly important job, and protecting those who keep us safe is equally important. The Baltimore Police Department leads the nation in supporting its officers with innovative wellness programs, free fitness classes, counseling services, citywide discounts, and more. Right now, the BPD is hiring. Join now and receive a $10,000 signing bonus upon swearing in. Build a meaningful career in public safety with the BPD and get the support you need to serve Baltimore effectively. Apply now at bpdrecruit.org. It's the perfect time to check out a spacious and reliable new Toyota SUV, like a RAV4. With available all-wheel drive and plenty of cargo space, you'll go from errands to adventures in no time. anytime. Plus, available features like wireless charging will keep you connected. Or check out a Highlander with seating for up to 8. It's a hub for family adventure. Your Toyota dealer is getting new vehicles in stock regularly. So don't wait. Find deals on a RAV4 or Highlander at buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. And now back to the Adam Jones Podcast.
But to that, has the manager, have you ever been in a situation, sometimes pitchers get in situations, usually it's a starter, and the manager will go out there. So generally a younger guy, the manager will go out there just to be like, hey, not the pitching coach, let's get this going. Has a manager ever came out there and just gave you the kick in the ass, like, hey, come on, let's go. Like, this is your spot.
Yeah, I mean, I think there has been moments in my career. I can't think of any just right off the top of my head where I can tell a story about what they said and then how the outcome was. But you're right. I mean, I think it really is more of a starter move to have your starter out there in the 7th or 8th inning, close to his pitch count, runners on base and 2 outs, and instead of the pitching coach coming out, here comes the manager to talk to his starter to let his starter convince him to stay in and get that last out, get the crowd into it. It's a moment in the game. To me, that's more of a starting pitcher manager relationship, like the starter talking his way into that final out. But it works as well in the bullpen. You have a younger guy out there who needs a pep talk. Needs something, and the manager that's coming out there to talk to him and not to take him out of the game. I think as a younger guy, if that doesn't fire you up, that he's giving you an opportunity, you might not need that opportunity, right? So that's a good learning opportunity as well in a situation like that.
Craig, really appreciate you taking the time. I must say we've had a lot of guests on the Adam Jones podcast. You were wonderful, and I think you rank as our best dressed guest so far.
Yes.
Even though it's game day, you're looking sharp.
My wife will enjoy
sharp.
that. Yeah,
I would expect like a t-shirt.
You really think I dress myself? No.
Well, she picked out a nice shirt.
All right, guys. Well, I appreciate it, and thanks for your time.
Thank you. We move along to our For the Birds segment. It's brought to you by our friends at the Maryland Lottery. Hey, when you play the Maryland Lottery, set limits, never play when you're stressed, and know your odds of winning. To learn more, simply visit mdlottery.com/play responsibly. Must be 18 years or older to play. We're joined by the Baltimore Banner's Orioles beat writer. She is Danielle Allentuck, back on the Adam Jones podcast and our For the Birds and Baltimore and Beyond portions, since we have a lot to cover. Great to have you back, Danielle. Let's start with the All-Star game. The O's sending just 3, despite leading the American League East. We know it's Gunnar, Adley, and Corbin. Maybe some other guys maybe added it, in the time between the game starts. Congrats to them. But there were a lot of voids, and it seemed like, there were some upset people inside the clubhouse and maybe some people who didn't mind having the time off.
Yeah, I mean, I think you look at this team, they're on pace to win over 100 games and they only have 3 All-Stars. It doesn't really add up, completely, especially when you look at the fan vote and you see how many guys were so close to getting in originally, Ryan O'Hearn, Anthony Santander, Jordan Resberg, Ryan Mountcastle. You can make the case for Craig Kimbrel as well. So, I mean, you have all these guys who are right on the edge, and then to only have one more get in, I mean, we'll see what happens this week, but I think you can make the case for any of those guys that I just mentioned to make the game.
I mean, I made 5. I believe I was snubbed out of 3. Who do you believe was the biggest snub?
I think Craig Kimbrel probably should have been there, especially when you look at what other relievers made it over him. He's having a phenomenal season, especially if you take out that one bad weekend he had at the end of April, early May. But besides that,
people wanted to take his head off.
Yeah. Besides that, he's been one of the best closers in the league. And, I think you do respect the veteran who is very high on the all-time list. You don't know how many seasons he has left. And if he's performing like he is now this far into his career, I think the league should have honored that.
Agreed. I mean, I see the Phillies have 7 players, Dodgers have 6, Guardians and Padres 5 apiece. The Royals have 4, and the Orioles 3. I just don't. The math just doesn't add up to me.
Yeah, but market is a big part of it. We always said that market is a big visibility. The Orioles are getting more visibility, and to that, it took us a few years for us to be good while we were having success, for us to get multiple All-Stars. From 8 to 12, we still were getting 1 or 2. And then it went 4, and then it went 6, and then it went 5. We were over a consistent basis. So this is the time. I think a couple guys might get invited because there's always injuries and there's always X. But I think this is where the Orioles are putting themselves on the list and on the ballots, and they're ingraining in people's minds that, okay, this dude's good. If he repeats this, then I need to reward it. And next year, if you repeat it, that's how the All-Star works, unfortunately, in the smaller market. Sorry.
And I think the thing with the Orioles, and I think it's why they're so good, is that they don't have that major blockbuster star. You know, they have Gunnar Henderson and Adley Rutschman, who are kind of the big names of the team, but Jordan Westburg, I mean, I don't know how many people outside of Baltimore could recognize him who aren't diehard baseball fans versus maybe somebody who's putting up lesser numbers in a bigger market may be more recognizable. And it's just kind of the situation Baltimore's in, where they're so good because they have so many really good players, but they don't have a team necessarily full of superstars.
100%.
I mean, the All-Star Game's a TV show, so you know it's for the fans. It's a TV show that doesn't count. Why are you shaking your head on that, Adam?
Hey, man, it's a TV show. It's one of the most honored things you can get in sports. It's okay. I don't know what All-Star Game would mean to the media. Maybe, I know I've seen the award shows they do at the end of the year, writers awards and stuff like that, but never, ever slight any award that you ever get at the major league level, because it's by far the hardest thing to accomplish. And there's so many people that have been snubbed. There's so many guys that got one All-Star game that should have 10, should have this. So never, ever say, oh, it's a TV show. No, this is a place, and you see the families, you see the drip that guys are going to be wearing. It is a spectacle because it is a honored thing. You're the best in the world at this current time, and everybody's watching. It's one game. So you say it's a TV show. No, it is a spectacle, and it's one of the most emotional, family intake, and expensive events.
Well, it's the best of the All-Star games, in my opinion, because the players actually try. And the reason I said it's a TV show, a lot of debate as to whether Paul Skeens should be on the mound and starting this thing as a rookie. That's all. Well, Danielle, what do you think?
I don't think he'll be starting the game. I mean, just because he's in it. So I think that's a major difference. I don't know. He's put up the numbers. I don't see why not. It hasn't necessarily been the best pitching year across the league for most people, unfortunately, due to a lot of injuries in particular. But again, the big names get in, and he's the big name.
I would say no to it solely just because, you got guys, obviously Zach Wheeler, who's done it for years. You got some starters who've done it. But definitely Skeens needs to be in, and he needs to be in the game early. I think he needs to face the top guys of the American League. Again, the reserves are still great guys, but I think we need to see him early in the game facing the starters, because I think, you want to see him on the brightest light. You want to see him early. I think when he gets to like the 5th and 6th inning, that's where like the little lull of the All-Star game comes in. But the first 3 innings, I think, are really, really impactful. And to see him early would be good, because again, he's thrown the ball well, but he's handled it great, and he looks like he's the game's next best thing with that nasty stash too. Love it, Tom Selleck.
We are joined by the Baltimore Banner's Orioles beat reporter. She is Danielle Allentuck, as we travel Baltimore and beyond, courtesy of Relief Medical Marijuana Dispensary, where they go above and beyond to help you, the patient. We just had Craig Kimbrel on, and I asked him about the constant covering of mouths and the lip reading, apparently, that goes on around baseball. Do you think it's excessive, the covering of the lips, Danielle?
I think it's just part of the game at this point. I think it's just so entrenched in what they do that I don't know if people could do it. We were laughing when Drew French, the Orioles pitching coach, this is his first time as a major league pitching coach full time, not as bullpen coach. And when his first couple of games, he wasn't covering his lips. And we were like, somebody's going to tell him. He's going to learn pretty quickly. And it only took about a week for him to start doing it. I think that there's a lot of paranoia in baseball where everybody's just kind of scared of like, oh, if I don't cover my lips, somebody's going to catch it, blah, blah, blah. It's just a lot of fear and cheating and all that. So I don't think it's ever going to stop. I just think it's so part of the game.
Well, every advantage is an advantage, especially if it's legal. It's like stealing signs. If you can get on second base and steal signs, or if the catcher's leg is a little open at first, that's how you steal signs. I wanted to ask about Silent J. Kjerstad. Last week, he's finally getting to play, and he's finally getting to put up some at-bats, and we're getting to see a consistency. His road trip was amazing. I texted him, and he liked it. Because, I mean, I love, and I got to work with him intimately down the spring training, and I want to root for everybody. How has it been for him finally getting some consistent at-bats when, again, it's really hard to get at-bats in the Orioles outfield?
I think you can tell that he's just been waiting for his moment. You know, he's been up a couple times before, but when you play once a week, come in to pinch hit, and that's it, it's really hard to show what you can do. And I think now that we've seen what he can do, you know, consistently, it's only been a short amount of time. I'm still interested to see what they do with him long term, especially as the trade deadline approaches. But I think you just see that he does belong up here. It's very clear that he had outgrown AAA a long time ago. You can make the case maybe a year ago he should have been up here, but he's just growing in confidence. He understands what he needs to do up here, and he's just showing it. He's played so well, and I think they should keep giving him a chance.
Do you think there's any question the Orioles don't pull the trigger before the trade deadline for at least a pitcher?
I mean, I think that this is going to be a really interesting trade deadline because it's new ownership and we see what they're actually willing to do. They haven't been tested yet. So I think that they need to. I think that they will, but I think we will learn a lot about the team when we see what caliber pitcher they go out and get and what kind of contract is attached to that person.
If they were to, let's create hypotheticals. That's what the internet is known for, right? These days, everybody is the internet GM, couch GMs. A hypothetical, create one hypothetical for the Orioles situation to put them over the edge, in your opinion.
Putting me on a spot here. I think it's hard to think of the return right now. I think that they can be willing to part with one. They're not going to trade Jackson Holiday. There's no way. I think Kobe Mayo is probably off limits. I think you trade two of your other top fives. I think you trade, Connor Norby, Kyle Stowers, Heston Kjerstad, maybe even Cowser. Trade two of those and get yourself a high caliber pitcher that you can have under contract for the end of this year and next year. Because I think that the more work they can do to get themselves ahead for next year, the better, because they have three players who are out until next June or July at the earliest. So I think that they should just take the plunge. If you're going to be giving up a top prospect for a top pitcher, get as much control as you can.
I'm so afraid to give away Heston Kjerstad. This kid was the number 2 overall pick. I think he's a future, long-term major league ball player, and I would not like to see him in another uniform. That frightens me, Danielle.
Same.
But if you get a top pitcher who can help you win a World Series this year, is it worth the sacrifice?
Well, you do make a fair point.
I mean, ask the Yankees, the Cubs. I mean, the Cubs did it. The Cubs emptied their cellar to get a World Series in 2016 with getting Chapman, and they got rid of like 6 really good major league players. So, again, are you going to be all in, or are you going to be a little bit in? This is going to be, like you said, it's going to be a very, very interesting month of July, and especially the trade deadline. And I don't envy Elias's job.
Speaking of putting you on the spot, let's try it one more time here. I just saw the Orioles made an off-the-field move. She's coming over and taking over the Orioles business side of things. Was this a surprise, and what does this mean for the people that were in place, or was this a vacancy?
So I think it's awesome. I mean, first of all, I love seeing women in high-profile positions. So regardless of what her job is and what team she worked for, it's just great for the industry and great for the Orioles to get her. I don't know if it was a surprise. I mean, I certainly didn't know that they were looking for somebody in that position. But, she had left Seattle a couple weeks ago, and part of me was kind of like, okay, like, does this mean she's coming to Baltimore? Like, at the timing would kind of make sense. I think that we will see a lot of reconstruction in their front office as we move forward with new ownership. And I think that this is kind of the first step towards that. I'm intrigued to hear more about like what her job duties are. And I think once we learn a little bit more about what her role is here, we're kind of learning about who is being pushed out, who's being pushed up, just kind of how she fits into the equation.
I think, reading her bio and her history, I mean, she's brought incredible projects and incredible entertainment to Seattle, to Atlanta. So hopefully, we bring the All-Star game to Baltimore in the next few years with the renovations hopefully going up, and, this is what her role, Miss Griggs, has done in her career. So hopefully she can turn Baltimore into a more desirable place.
Yeah, I definitely think that's part of it. They've been very open if Baltimore wants another All-Star game one day. And,
Yes.
The setup that they've had, it's not conducive to host an All-Star game yet. But bringing in somebody like her who took brand new stadiums in Seattle, helped out in Atlanta when they built their new stadiums down there, I think that's kind of a huge part of why they brought her here. It's going to take a couple of years to put everything together, but she's been through that proposal process. She knows what a city needs to host the games and host a big event like that. And I think that's probably why she's here.
Well, we'll keep our fingers crossed, and hopefully we do get that All-Star game. Once they fix the scoreboard and sound system, it should be a slam dunk. You can't hold an All-Star game with the sound system and scoreboard that they have in place right now. I'm sorry. Hey, Danielle, I thank you for the time. Enjoy your break during the All-Star break coming up as well. Danielle Allentuck from the Baltimore Banner, kind enough to join us here on the podcast.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, let's put a bow and tie on things with Socially Speaking. This is where we answer a tweet or social media post. And now a chance to win a $50 gift card from our friends at Lido Pizza, the official pizza of the Adam Jones podcast. Lido Pizza is also a proud partner of the Baltimore Orioles. We are on social media at Adam Jones Pod on social media, at Adam Jones Pod. I do want to mention, you may see Adam around town this week. He is back in the Charm City, and your guest room at my estate has been properly prepared if you need that, by the way. We had the housekeeper up last week. All right. So last week, speaking of last week, we had Buck Showalter on the podcast. We discussed the concept of miking up players, specifically infielders, because we saw what happened with Gunnar Henderson in that series. I think it was against the Rangers. And that conversation sparked a lot of feedback, including this post on X we got from @NoThanks743, who wrote, Adam said it perfectly. Definitely not for infielders ever. I love Gunnar. I did not like the mic'd up segment and went on forever. Worst case scenario, a batter or two, let him announce the home run derby. That was their point, the end of it.
I think the home run derby should be mic'd up. I think, guys, that right there would be cool. There should be some MC going around. Again, infielders is just too much going on, too quick. There's just a lot going on. So I think, having a bench guy, if you want to talk like that, that's fine. Or an outfielder. I think an outfielder can do it because we're used to, hanging out and messing around, talking and doing things like that, being different. We don't have to talk to nobody. So I think being an infielder is just a little bit too much. Again, by doing that, it brings his exposure up. Obviously he's one of the best bright stars in the game. Right now he's in the top 5 MVP race. If not the best shortstop in baseball at this point. And it just, gets the ratings up. It gets the Orioles brand more visibility because, again, Sunday Night Baseball, Orioles haven't been on Sunday Night Baseball many times since, really the 90s. That's how I even start to really follow the Orioles. So any sort of visibility is good. Anytime people can hear his voice, they can hear his thoughts. I think that's always a good thing. But again, it's just a little tough during the middle of a game. That's the only thing. But again, visibility is great.
I feel like you have been mic'd up during a game. Am I right?
I have been, yes. And it's a lot easier to do it from center field because I'm generally talking to myself. So again, I can just talk to somebody in my ear. That works. And I don't have to really move things. Again, it's shifting guys. I don't screen at guys. I just, look at them and we move. So it's a little bit different communication. But as an infielder, especially if a guy gets on base and then you got communications with the open mouth, closed mouth, with the pitcher. And then again, if the worst part about these is if the inning is prolonged, there's a pitching change. They keep the stuff on you because it's hard for the guys to come and take the stuff off. So
you got to watch what you say.
You got to watch what you say for sure. It's always a hot mic, and you just have to be focused. Obviously, Gunnar is, but it's just to me it's just a little bit of a confusion. But again, it's great for the brand. I don't care what you say. It's fantastic for the brand. Everybody was talking about it. He announced that he's going to be on the home run derby on it. That went viral. Again, anything that the Orioles brand can do, you can get them on MLB tweeting at you and doing all that to get you going viral. Do it. Everything.
I hope they do it during the All-Star game with Orioles so they can introduce them to the rest of the country again.
100%.
All right. We want to thank our sponsors. Please support the following because they support the Adam Jones podcast and make it go.
The Adam Jones Podcast is brought to you by our friends at the Weinman Company. Everyone knows Greenmount Station in Hampstead, but did you know that at Greenmount Station you can bet 7 days a week just like you're at the track? With in-person teller windows and state-of-the-art touchscreen kiosks. And with Greenmount Station's brand new Bet Park Sportsbook, you can bet on all other sports as well, wherever you are in Maryland. Spreads, money lines, live bets, props, parlays, and teasers. The Bet Parks Maryland mobile app is now live for Apple and Android devices, so you'll never miss your next big score. Just search for Bet Parks MD in the Apple App Store or on Google Play. And for a limited time, 21 and over Adam Jones podcast listeners can get a $75 gift card to Greenmount Station simply for opening a new account with promo code GMS and a minimum $50 initial deposit. $75 gift card for new users in Maryland only. 21 and over only. Please play responsibly. For help, call 1-800-GAMBLER. The Adam Jones Podcast is brought to you by Jimmy's Famous Seafood, Charm City's favorite crab cake destination. Local sports fan, experience the ultimate pregame party at the tailgate. Cheer on the Ravens with iconic live performances, an open bar, and mouth-watering eats. Can't make it? No worries. Bring the same food that caught the attention of the Food Network right to your doorstep. Shipping East Coast recipes nationwide. Jimmy's Famous Seafood is the official sponsor of the guests appearing on the Adam Jones Podcast.
Take me out to the ball game.
Take me out with the crowd.
Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks.
I don't care if I never get back.
Marylanders are adding a seventh-inning stretch to their day with fast play home run riches from the Maryland Lottery. You could win a progressive jackpot instantly and enter to win cash for Orioles home runs.
It's my new ball game.
Hey, it's savings season at Lido Pizza. 99-cent refreshing iced teas all summer, or $6 calzones every Tuesday. There are tons of new deals and rewards for everyone. Proud partner of the Baltimore Orioles, Baltimore Ravens, and the Adam Jones Podcast. Lido Pizza, a local legend since 1955. Exclusively at LidoPizza.com or on the Lido Pizza app. If you received ERC funds, listen closely. The IRS has 10 years to audit your claim, but you only have until March 22nd to get taxpayer relief, and the clock is ticking. If you're losing sleep over a possible audit, we'll review your claim. If you made a filing error, we'll set things right. If you're being audited, we'll provide expert representation. The IRS Voluntary Disclosure Program ends March 22nd. You deserve peace of mind. Visit SaveMyERC.com to schedule a consultation today. That's SaveMyERC.com. Effective Solutions, your one-stop shop for commercial contracting. Everything from excavation and site development to emergency remediation and restoration. Effective Solutions specializes in many forms of commercial and mixed-use construction. With a dedicated staff and a commitment to quality, Effective Solutions delivers every time. There are a lot of ways to make whiskey, but there's only one way to make Jack Daniels. At Jack Daniels, they charcoal mellow every drop, only using water from Cave Spring Hollow in Tennessee. When you make your own label, you make everything else yours too. But we don't need to tell you that, do we? Make it count. Jack Daniels. Please drink responsibly. Tennessee whiskey, 40% alcohol by volume. Jack Daniel Distillery, Lynchburg, Tennessee. Jack Daniels and Old No. 7 are registered trademarks. 2022. Jack Daniels. All rights reserved. The Adam Jones Podcast welcomes Relief Shop. Shop Maryland's largest adult use and medical cannabis menu, located at 1114 Cathedral Street in Baltimore, with medical delivery available throughout Maryland 7 days a week, only at Relief Shop.
Your fun awaits at Hollywood Casino Perryville. Feed the whole crew with something for everyone, from cheesesteaks to crab cake sandwiches. Plus, ask how you can get a $15 dining credit. Get in on the gaming action with the hottest slots and your favorite table games like blackjack, roulette, and poker. Free live shows every Friday and Saturday. Come experience non-stop fun and excitement only at Hollywood Casino Perryville.
Hey Baltimore, Monument City Brewing has been crafting the best beer in Maryland since 2014. Located at 1 North Haven Street in Baltimore, you've seen us at the ballpark. Now drop by our tasting room. Open Thursday through Sunday with events, music, and great food trucks. And this year we are honored to collaborate with Adam Jones and the Adam Jones Podcast with Simply AJ Ballpark IPA, available throughout the baseball season. It's going to be a great year, Baltimore. Visit us online at monumentcitybrewing.com or follow us on Instagram at Monument City Brewing.
Hey, you work hard, I work hard, and we all like to save money. That's why we need the Royal Farms ROFO Rewards app to get more value for our hard-earned money. With the app, you earn royalty points on every purchase, can place mobile orders for quick pickup, plus a discount at the gas pump with ROFO Pay. We all like to save money, and with the ROFO Rewards app, we do.
Real fresh, real fast. Royal Farms.
Listeners, tell your friends. The Baltimore Police Department is hiring the next generation of officers. Starting salary is over $61,000. Plus, you'll receive an additional $10,000 signing bonus upon swearing in. Apply today to start your career in public safety. This is a great opportunity to serve the city you love and start a career that makes a difference in your community. Apply now at bpdrecruit.org. It's the perfect time to check out a spacious and reliable new Toyota SUV, like a RAV4, with available all-wheel drive and plenty of cargo space. You'll go from errands to adventures in no time. Plus, available features like wireless charging will keep you connected. Or check out a Highlander with seating for up to 8. It's a hub for family adventure. Your Toyota dealer is getting new vehicles in stock regularly, so don't wait. Find deals on a RAV4 or Highlander at buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Thanks to senior executive producer Chip Franklin for putting this latest episode together. Chip loves to play golf, but he never records his bogeys for some reason. Hey, go out and subscribe to the Baltimore Banner. Until next week, be kind, be real, and make sure to be back next week for an all-star edition of the Adam Jones Podcast.